Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. We have an empty bench, and that means we can go and unbox something else from the emergency storage shed. Episode 62, and we can tackle some more out of that middle shelf. I think I said we'd get those middle tubs this week, and then next week we'll get that blue, nice, cool, vintage set of drawers. Let's work through these tubs. I don't know how many we're going to get through. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll start with the top one. If we make good time, we'll keep going until we get a video that's not too short, but not a marathon. Let's see if we can get them out, I guess. The top one is a little plastic tub, and it looks like it's got a bit of hardware, shed stuff, maybe a few more tools, and it's pretty heavy, actually. All right, wire brush, clamps, more of these tins. We had one of these tins recently. What's that one say? Screws, 30 plus 100 millimeters. Okay, well, the last tin of these screws, yeah, okay, two different sizes. The last tin of these screws that I unearthed recently, I put in the shop for $5 and we sold it the first day. There's another tin under there. So I'll take this box through. It shouldn't take us long to do that. Let's have a peek in that next wooden box. And, oh, we've got some old door hardware, a circular saw blade that's long been discarded. More door hardware. Okay, we could get some interesting stuff out of that. We did a couple of nice old locks recently too, and I have kept some nicer ones, and I will be looking for extra bits for them, so we'll see how we go there. Let's deal with this one first. Okay, we'll try and whip through them so that we're not talking for ages about boring stuff, and see if we can find some really cool, interesting stuff. We have got a few good bits lately, and incidentally, in the last episode, we found that really nice cast iron spirit level from Starrett, a US-made one with an incline level on it. After a lot of comments about maybe putting it on eBay, I think I will try that, so I'll let you know how it goes. Let's get through this one really quickly. Okay, got a slightly higher camera position, so hopefully it helps your view. So this has really long screws and some short ones. Some of them are quite second-hand, but some are quite new. Well, I think the long ones are brand new. I might just quickly sort them because I'm not going to get $5 for a lot of old second-hand screws. This one's totally clogged up with paint. So I will quickly sort them, but I can certainly sell the new ones easily. Let's check out the other tin. And it says screws again, and some 40 and 20 millimeter ones, and that's a bit rusty. I think there's been a bit of water in that at some stage. Okay, that has had water in it, so I don't imagine we're going to be able to sell a lot of those. I'll quickly sort them. There's pull out a few better ones, but all the corroded ones I'll put straight in the scrap bin. That's a shame, it got wet. This wire brush is totally useless. There's not much left of that, so that's no good. We have a jar of, these are cleats for securing shade mesh or fabric or wire onto timber. We do use some of these in the garden. We have a berry house, and it's handy for securing the mesh, so I'll probably keep these ones. I think they're pretty cheap to buy, so we wouldn't really be able to sell them for very much. Little clamps. Well, clamps are always handy. A workshop can never have enough clamps. I've got two of these, so I'll be keeping those two for sure. We have a couple of files. That one feels pretty good. I talked a lot about files in a recent video. Yeah, I think they can probably both go to the shop, maybe in the $3 box. And a lot of clamps. Heavy duty, I don't know what you'd call them. Are they welding clamps? They've certainly got very powerful springs. I don't think I need these ones. I don't use this sort of clamp very often, if at all, and I think I've got some in a drawer anyway. I might put these in a box at the shop for $10 a lot. I think they'll sell pretty quickly. So there we go. We've got some value out of this box. Last container here has, oh, these are swing over clamps for flywire screens on windows, and we do use these in our house, so I'll certainly keep those. They will be handy. That's it. Nothing else in that tub. That was quick. And hopefully this one will be a little less boring. It's looking much older. A lot of hardware stuff, and there could be some nice bits in here. And just how long do you think this stuff's been sitting in this box? I am pretty sure that this has just come out of someone's shed exactly like this, and I've shoved it in my shed thinking I'll get to that one day. Well, now's the day. So this hasn't been disturbed for a long time. We could find absolutely anything in here. So it's obviously had some damp air on that because it's much rustier on the top than underneath. So that's actually a tungsten tip blade, but I'm not in the habit of reusing old blades. You never know when they're cracked. You can certainly tell if a blade's cracked by balancing it on something and giving it a hit. Alright, that has a bit of a ring to it. I don't expect it is cracked, but I'm not likely to use an old blade like that. What am I going to do with it? I don't think it really has any second-hand value. It's a bit small for anyone to do painting on. I think it can go straight in the scrap bin. Now, what do we got in here? There's old latches. What a beautiful old latch. I love it. That's going to be saleable exactly as it is. I'm just going to wash the dust off it. That's the sort of latch you'd find on an old shed or an outside toilet. The old dunny door. Something like that. And I reckon that's a $10 latch, you know. Really nice old piece. We have, that is a door peg, I guess you'd call it. Does it still work? Yeah, it still works. Look at that. So as you swing a door open, you can push this button down and the rubber stopper jams on the floor. And to release it, you push the tab down. Yep, still works fine. Give that a wash up too. I reckon we're going to put $5 on that. And you're saying, do people really buy that rusty old stuff? Well, old hardware, absolutely they do. That's the latch keeper for one of these type of locks, but it's more modern. That's actually a die cast one. So even though it fits, it's not the same. That's a cast iron one. That's a cheaper die cast zinc. I have got some of those at the shop, and I normally ask $5 a pair for the actual lock and the keeper. If they're in good condition, that's good enough to match up with one. I'll take that to the shop and see. This one is a much older, as I said, it's cast iron. It's probably a little bit more decorative. You can't really tell under all that years of dust. And perhaps that, yeah, that looks like the actual keeper for that one. That's cast iron. So I'll wash them up and match it up. I don't know if that's quite the right one. It looks close. We'll see what else is in here. But we'll wash them up. It doesn't have the handle assembly for it, but we might be able to find one for it. I'm excited about some things in here. I'm seeing keys. I like keys. Look at all these old keys. That's a ripper. It's actually got a brand on it. New Britain, it says. So there's some nice old door keys. Some of them are not as old as others. All sorts of shapes and sizes. Some could be cupboard or door lock, like cupboard doors, like wardrobes. That's more of a wardrobe key, that one. But I like the big old door keys. And they sell quite well, but I do keep them because there's not a huge variety of types. And as you've seen, I have put some old locks away. And I might try and make some keys for them. So I'll sort all the keys out. That's the shaft from a door lock, which the doorknobs go on. So we've got, these look 1940s era. This is a much older one. This one's a stone. I think they're stone, or they're like a porcelain. So that's a really nice old knob. I don't know that it's, oh, it looks a bit damaged, but the actual front part's nice. Now we have some other keepers here. And these are good ones. That hopefully, these are hard to find actually, because normally when people rescue an old door from a house, this gets left on the architrave and isn't taken with the lock. I'm hoping it's a Carpenter one. Sometimes they have a name on them. Looks like it says number 3 there. But it could well match up to an old lock. There's a few more of them here. That one looks like it's missing part of the brass decoration. These are very old keepers. That's a nice one too. That matches, doesn't it? They look pretty much identical. Well, I'm going to keep these with some of my old locks because eventually I think I'd like to try and restore them. There's another nice old key. A more standard pad bolt, that will probably be brass, nickel plated brass. We have some swing over latches here. I'll probably sell those, I don't think I want those, but I'll be keeping some of these lock shafts and the better doorknobs, I think. Yeah, so we've just got a whole assortment of doorknobs. Some of these are brass, some are steel, and you can tell instantly with a magnet. Some of the brass ones, before you throw them in your brass bin, sometimes they do have steel under, within them. Damaged ones I will put in the brass bin, but I'll keep some of the better ones. That's a 1940s style, as in this oval one we had before. I think it's a more modern brass, like a drawer knob. A little latch here off a fly screen door or a little cupboard or something. I think we've had discussions about one of these before, and a few people commented about what it was off. So really just a whole heap of door hardware. There's a wooden knob that would be off an early chest of drawers or something. They're actually threaded inside, but that one's been broken off. And of course the door plates, these are a classic sort of 30s and 40s style shield type plate. Sometimes they were usually brass plated or sometimes even a coppery colour, but they're pretty much all just steel. They certainly could be cleaned up and painted, but they would go on a door where you have a mortise lock, which is the lock that goes in the side of the door. They won't suit the large bulky locks that clip onto those. So I don't think I need to keep these ones. I'll probably just clean them up and sell them. Here we have a drawer lock from out of the drawer of a chest of drawers. There's another one there. They're quite large ones. Yeah, all right. Nothing else interesting. There's a large porcelain one. That's in usable condition. And there's another stone or porcelain, I'm not sure. I'll probably keep those because they will match some of the much older locks. All right, well, I don't think we've got enormous amounts of value. We've got some cool bits. I'll need to sort out what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to sell. There wasn't as many nice keys as I thought there would have been. Anyway, I'll sort them all out and we'll get back to you soon. I reckon we've got time to go and grab another tub. I've just sorted these as you can see them. I thought I'd show you before I bunch it all up and bring the other tub in. I'm going to sell that lot as a box lot of vintage or early door hardware, $10 a lot or $1 each. Sometimes I do that and it's amazing what people pick out, and sometimes I make more than $10. I decided that keeper doesn't suit that lock, and that lock's all it's missing bits. So $10 a lot on that lot. We'll see how we go. I'm keeping that little lot for now. That's some scrap metal. They're going in the irony brass. They're all seized up and they're a bit damaged, so they can just go for scrap. Those bits are kind of $1 each. And the others as discussed. So I'll make a bit more room. We'll go and get another tub. Well, a real mixed bag here. There's more door hardware. There's all sorts of stuff. I was ready for something different other than door hardware, but we have to go through it all. And now I guess that I've got categories for what I'm keeping and what I'm going to sell. We might be able to add some more to that $10 box. But there's a bit of a mixture of everything in here. Well, when we're cleaning up, we can't just pick the eyes out of it. We've got to process everything. So let's go through it. That looks like it's been in a fire. House burnt down maybe. I've never seen a doorknob do that. So, yeah, that knob might be salvageable. But, I think that could nearly go. I think we'll just put that in the irony brass. It's got enough brass on there that they'll accept it as irony brass. So let's sort it out. That one, there's another old brass knob. I tend to keep the knobs, the old brass ones, for now until I work out what I'm going to need. So I will hang on to that. There's a couple of nicer ones in here that aren't dented, so we will hang on to those. Yeah, there's a few in here actually. So that's good. They can go in the keeper box. Goodness. Now there's a really early latch. I've had one of these before and I don't remember what they're off. It's a latch. Whether it was the little door breeze thing they sometimes had above the front door that you'd have a rope and you'd pull it and it'd then pivot down. or whether it's some other form of window latch. I think we'll put $5 on that. It's a nice early one, clearly in operational condition. I'll call it a window latch until proven otherwise. So that's all right, something to sell. We have some plumbing fittings. Oh, these are actually the indicators from a top of taps. Oh, there's only one left, is there? Oh no, there's two here. There we go. Oops. Now where did that go? We have a blue one for cold and the red one went somewhere. That was for hot. So they just plug into the top of your taps. Someone asked me about those the other day, so I'll put these with the other ones that I had. So that packaging's rubbish. There's a lot of rubber. What are these? Oh, they're tap washers. I think that looks like a foot off something. I think these are. Oh, they're plastic. Oh no, I think they're rubber. They're hard rubber. They're tap washers. Oh, there's an old brass type one. I don't think I'm going to keep these. I think they can go in the rubbish, except for the ones with the brass spindles. They can go in the scrap. They're all probably perished. There's a large, I think that's just out of a gardening hose fitting. Some paper for the recycle bin. Oh, here's the whole box of them. Handy pack. I don't know if that's the right box, but yeah, they're tap washers. They're not going to be any good, unfortunately. Some more door hardware. That's probably off a flywire door, fly screen door. Plumbing fittings can go in the heavy melt steel. Rubber washers. This must have been from a plumbing shop, I don't know. But the rubber's a bit hard, so they're not going to be any good. Oh, look at them. More rubber washers. Is that the box they're out of? 3 dozen stopper drip tap washers. Oh no, they're different. That's what we had before. So 3 dozen, 3/4 inch, made in Australia, 60 cents each. Now, they've got to be early 70s or late 60s. Yeah, there's some still in there. Okay, they're going to be rubbish. The cardboard I will recycle. Oh, here's something different. Some sheep shears. These are the old Click Go the shears. Sheep shearing or crutching shears. I have seen a lot of people on the Facebook groups that I hang out on say, oh, they're garden trimmers. Well, they're actually not. They're sheep shears, but people did use them for trimming around the garden. They're usually made in Sheffield. This one says Sheffield as well, I think. So I'll get $10 for those. They've got a little leather retainer to keep them closed. Quick clean up. There's $10. Very good. Is that the one we had before? I think it was. Another box here. Is that just empty? Yep. So this can all go in the recycle bin as cardboard. Oh, another door plate. Well, that can go to our box lot over there. And I'm digging in here because I see something nice. Here we have another nice old lock. Beautiful. Is it a Carpenter? It is. Nice old Carpenter lock. That's a pretty early one, I would imagine. Very nice. And this is what those keepers suit that I had before. Dig one out of this box. And that's the wrong way. They've got to go. You would have a left and a right, so that's obviously the wrong match. Anyway, that's the sort of lock that they suit. That's another nice old one. I'll be keeping that for now. I have a hunch that I'm down the track going to get into lock restorations, and I'm going to keep all the good ones and the associated bits and keys. And if I never do it, well, no drama. They don't take up a lot of space, and they'll certainly be quite saleable, even in the condition that they're in now. So that's a keeper, as are some of the nicer doorknobs, as mentioned. Oh, we have another one of those, another pair of those tap covers. A huge big cast iron caster wheel. That's a ripper. One's not much good to anyone. Be nice to have 4 of those. That could be off a safe. Something extremely heavy, early workshop equipment. Bit hard to do much with one. Let's have a dig. Lots more plumbing fittings and old leather washers. Yeah, I think all that can go in the bin. That's a shame. Oh, we have some more sheep shears. They need a good clean-up. It wouldn't surprise me if that's the original clip and these are actually brand new. I think they're actually brand new, never ever been used, just surface rust. Alright, we'll give those a bit of a clean-up. Very nice. Something else to sell. Some more door hardware. This must have come from a plumbing house. We've got lots of plugs. Geez, that's a small plug. So they're everywhere, but all the rubber and plastic's gone very hard. Well, there we have a plumbing fitting, but I don't think that's brass. No, they can go in the heavy melt steel. And a jar of, oh, it looks like towel rail ends. Interesting. We'll tip them out and have a look shortly. I might just clean up all this junk. There's not much else interesting in here. There's a nice old gate latch. That will probably sell. We might get $5 for that. I know you can still buy them new and galvanized, but I think it's worth a bit just purely because it's lovely, you know, it's lovely old patina. It's probably going to be, I don't know where it would have been made, but it certainly would have been made in China. So I reckon I'll get $5 for that. More doorknobs. We have an oil can here. Wonder if it's got a brand on it. No handle, but that'll sell. And a strange drill. Now I think this is, I reckon I've had one of these once before and I can't quite remember. It goes in a brace, a drill brace, and I reckon this chain has something to do with it self-pulling into the job, whatever it's drilling. I'm wondering if that goes around the item that you're drilling, and because it holds this bracket, as it spins, it might have a clutch set up and it gradually turns the chuck down so it self-feeds into whatever it's drilling. I think it might be incomplete. I'm not too sure. Let me know in the comments if you know exactly what it's called. I'm probably going to put $10 on it in the shop just as it is, and someone else can work out if it's complete or if they want it. And yeah, nothing else exciting in here. I'll tidy it all up and we'll get back to you shortly. Now, what was in this jar? We better check this out before we finish up. Okay, I think they're towel rails. They'll probably be brass. Or they're towel rail holders anyway. Ugh, not the right things to put in a jar, I would imagine. God, I can't get them out. Yeah, they're definitely nickel-plated brass. You can see the brass in there. Okay, they're an older style. Looks like they suit different size rails. Larger ones. They stand off a bit higher. That's better. Now we're talking. Oh, we have little tiny ones. And that takes threaded rod, I think. They could be off a little serving tray. It's almost like a game of chess, isn't it? That one's broken. Top's broken off it, so I think that would be brass. Yep. We can go with our brass pile. So we have larger diameter pipe, smaller pipe, and the little tiny ones. Alright, I don't know that they're worth selling. I'm not sure I'd get much for them. But then again, it's not worth much for brass, really, is it? So we might just, and we can't sell them as brass if they've got a screw through that's clearly magnetic. And I don't know how that screw comes out. Looks like it's molded into it. So the best we're going to get for that one is irony brass. The rest of them, the screws all come out. there's not even going to be half a kilo of brass there, and we do need to obviously take all the screws out. Some of them are out, some aren't. So what have we got? About less than $4 worth of scrap brass with some work required. I think we'll put the whole lot in a little box in the shop for $1 each or $10 a lot. Same as what we're doing with the other hardware. And if someone wants the little ones, then $6, we might do the little ones for $5 a lot. But I think that's the best thing to do with them. Oh, there's another one there. That's another one with a molded screw. So $10 is going to be better than scrap brass, and it's cheap enough to sell fairly quickly, I think. We won't put them back in the jar, though. Okay, I think we've got a reasonable length video out of these tubs. We've still got one to go. We'll get to that next week. So what have we got? Well, I've got some stuff to keep. All that nice old door hardware. And we've got some assorted lots to sell. I cleaned up some of the items and we've got some pretty good value. We've also got a bit of scrap, a little bit of extruded aluminium, a little bit that'll go in the cast aluminium even though it's a die cast. Some tap washers that were actually aluminium, so they'll just go in the irony aluminium. We have some irony brass, we have some heavy melt steel, and we have a bit of clean brass. I didn't write down anything for that because those piles all individually only add up to a few cents each or something. It might be $1 in total. We've got a little bit of stuff for the fire, and as I commented about Shane in the last video making me accountable, I do want to include everything that I get out of the boxes, including the rubbish. That's what I'm throwing out, which is all just the plumbing bits and pieces, the rubber that's gone hard, the plastic bits that are not really usable. There's a little bit of pressing steel, light metal scrap. I think that's out of the top of a gas burner, like a kitchen hob burner, but that's only rubbish, scrap metal. We even also have some cardboard I'm going to put in my recycle bin. So we're processing everything. I'm not hiding anything from you guys. Now the things that cleaned up quite well, the sheep shears cleaned up very well. They are Sheffield made. They're a combination UTS brand, and this one I've never seen a pair, I guess you call them a pair, of these sheep shears in as new condition. These have never been used. That would be the original clip, so if you've ever wondered what clips they used when you bought them new, I'm pretty sure that will be the original one. And if I can flick this off without slicing my fingers, have a look at that blade. Absolutely razor sharp. Obviously a little bit stained from where it was surface rusted, but they guillotine beautifully. Hear the noise. Lovely. I better carefully let go of them. So I'm going to put $15 on those. In fact, I think I might up it to 20. I wrote down 15 on the notepad, but we might up that to 20. We'll go 10 on those ones. So they were worth cleaning up. The oil can was pretty cool. It's a very early oil can. It's actually got a button on the bottom that you press, and it has got a brand, and I think it's got a patent, hasn't got a patent number, so we don't know the date. But the bottom spring button, it's an enclosed spring button, and listen to this oil can sound. How cool is that? So it's a patented spring bottom design, and it's Braimes, B-R-A-I-M-E-S, patent. I think they were English. So that's pretty cool. Hand soldered brass spout on it. I think that would be a pretty early oil can. I wrote down 15 for that, but I think I'm going to up that to 20. I've never seen another one quite like that. So my price, when we get to the total, you can add another $10. I just washed all these up. There's no brands on any of them, but they're really cool pieces of vintage hardware items. I didn't even worry about washing that drill thing up. Someone else can deal with that. We have some $1 items here, including, I did keep the fibre washers. They're still okay. They're tap body washers. They were made in Ringwood, Victoria, and I think if we can't get $1 for them, there's something wrong. I am keeping those 2 clamps, and yeah, everything else as discussed. But I do have something to ask you shortly. But let's go to the notepad. This did look a box of junk. In fact, each tub looked like there was no value in it at all. and we still made $125. Well, we will when we sell it. So how's that? It's just incredible how it adds up. And we didn't include those clamps that I am keeping, nor did we include this stuff, and that's a really nice old Carpenter lock that would sell pretty well. And these keepers, as I mentioned, sell very well as well. So probably at least $200 worth of value here. Now, I do have a question before we finish up. Well, not a question. Well, I guess. I want your comments. I've decided not to sell all this lot in a bulk lot at $10. I'm going to pull some of it out. Now, we can probably still sell what's left for $10, so it won't really alter the notepad. But I'm going to keep these plates. I think there's 5 of them. And 5 knobs. And I'm going to make something out of them. Do you know what I'm going to make? Put your thoughts in the comments, or maybe you'll come up with an idea that's even better than the idea I've had. But I'm going to pull those aside. Just 5 plates and 5 matching knobs, and I will need perhaps some of the shafts just to mount them. And let me know what you think I'm going to make. And as I said, come up with other ideas if you like, because, you know, rather than just basically give the whole box away for next to nothing, I think we can value add with some of that, and that will be a future video. So there we go, 125 plus our 10 extra, I said, so 135 for what looked like a couple of tubs full of scrap metal, really. So thanks for watching, guys. Another episode done. I've been looking at myself in the camera thinking I need a haircut. Maybe I could do it. I don't know. Maybe not. Might lose an ear. Better put them down. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.